Alright, so here's a real quick recap. Not really a recap. Here's all the parts. I did that little short video on my Alumacraft that I'm turning into a bass ball. Here's all the parts all ready to go. You can see them, I got them all carpeted. Everything's all ready. All the covers, the plates. There's the decking. Here's all the pieces all ready. Here's my trolling motor, foot pedal. Here's all my pieces. Here's part of my one panel. Got all my switches on. Everything's wired. Here's some of my side pieces. I know this video is kind of dull here. Those are my battery kill switches. Here's my radio. I can do this here. The radio. I can't do this one-handed. Well, the radio is right here. There's the radio. There's all my switches. There's my battery meter. This is what's going to be on the front. This is like one of the front panels. So like I said, I know this really isn't much. I'm just kind of playing around making a video here. Here's all the pieces ready to go. And actually, when I go to put these on the boat, I will do a complete video on that. Here's my side. Here's where my control box. If you watch that video, the control box is going to mount right there. There's one of the speakers right here. There's the mount for the control box, which is going to go right here. That goes on there. That gets bolted to it. And then the control box actually goes that way. That gets bolted on, and the control box gets bolted to that. Like I said, in my basement's a mess here. I've got all these pieces everywhere. I've got my battery box right there. That's going to be used for my my pond tracker boat. It's got a battery. It's got terminals you can hook up. That'll be a different video. Here is my dashboard, RPM, miles per hour. This is pretty cool. I actually put this in the car, in my truck, and I had to go somewhere one day, so I took it with me. It's run by a GPS. So there's a GPS. You plug it into the battery, and it worked immediately. RPM gauge, I haven't got that hooked up. I got hour meter, I got temperature gauge, a steering wheel. Here's the steering wheel right here. There's my fish finders. I'm going to do a separate video on those. Here's my control box I was showing you in that first video I made. Like I said, brand new channel. I should have done some of this stuff a long time ago. I kind of miss making videos. These are going to be pretty much shoot them and upload them. I'm not going to do a bunch of editing and all that. That takes kind of the fun out of it when you got to spend hours editing a video. I just like making the videos, putting them online. Hopefully you guys like, what I'm doing, because I do the same thing. I go to YouTube to try and get ideas on stuff, and I come up with a lot of ideas. So, like I said, you got any questions, comments, just ask. This right here, I'll do a separate video on this, but this is the dashboard, and there's the legs for it. Here's all my various pieces, all my screws and wires, or my seat posts. My seats are over there. I'll do a separate video on that. I'm just going to do videos on all this stuff separately, because I did the same thing when I was looking for questions. This, when I go to put this on, that wire is going to have to be rerouted. And like I said in the one video, there was a pin that was on the end of this that I cut off because I wasn't going to use it. But I'll do a more in-depth video on that when I go to put it together. I already kind of explained this in the one video. It did work. When I hooked it to the motor, he turned the key, and boy, she fired right up. It was so exciting. I did what people told me on some of the Facebook pages told me I couldn't do. They're like, nope, you can't do it. I'm like, well, you want to bet? I'll show you. And I did it, and it worked. So it took a little bit of figuring out. I had papers all over this table. I was getting information off the internet, wiring diagrams. I got it figured out. So that wire's got to have to be cut to size. So I found my tripod. Like I said, I haven't done videos in a while. So I just found my tripod. All this stuff was buried in these bags from my other channels that I have. I found all that. I got my camera going here. Like I said, I got my fish finder. I got a 5-inch and a 7-inch Garmin. There's my little Lowrance that's going to go on the dash. I'll do a separate video on that. There's all my wires. I've just got everything all over the place. So, but like I said, I wanted to just kind of show a quick overview of what's going on here. Here's all the pieces to the boat. Everything's ready to go. I'm just kind of waiting for the weather to break now. This is my back piece. It goes over the engine compartment, over the fuel tank, and over the batteries, seat post. There's my top deck. There's the front deck behind right here. There's the top deck. Well, these are both the top deck. This is the middle. This is the front. So, that's pretty much it. I will do more videos on some of the stuff individually as I'm kind of going here. Now I want to kind of get back into this. I'm trying to find all my equipment. So, hopefully you like these. You find them informative. Just like I do the same thing. I go to YouTube and look for videos. So, any questions or comments, ask, subscribe, like, all that stuff. You know how that works. And hopefully this channel will grow into something because it's fun making the videos. So anyways, that's kind of my story and the picture of my messy basement. Like I said, I'll do a video separately on that box for the Bass Trend, for the Pond Tracker boat that I just got. I just got that a few months ago. So anyways, I guess that's it. So hopefully you like the videos and you find them informative, and let me know. Like I said, you got any questions, just ask, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye.